Hey guys, so this is Ruben. Thank you if you're watching my channel, if you're a subscriber. Thanks for subscribing. If not, go ahead and subscribe now. If you follow me, you've seen my tutorial videos on trusted brokers and so on and so forth. I'm excited to actually do an options more hands-on trading session. So right now we're live, right? So we're looking at my live P&L. And if you follow me, you've kind of seen, well, first and foremost, buying and selling any stock, asset, futures, forex option involves a lot of risk where you can blow all or more of your money. Always read your broker disclosure. As you can see, I am live now, so I am covering my live position. So I'm not trying to hide anything from you guys. It's just I can't have you guys copy my trades and then do something wrong and then blame me or whatever. So that's why it's been hidden. But I'm just making a live video to let you guys know that unlike before, where I kind of just made tutorials on how to use the platform, I'm actually going to start doing more hands-on live trading. So again, all trading involves risk, in which you can lose all or more of your account. And before I didn't do them, mostly because I did work at a financial literacy company. And even though they never told me I couldn't, I didn't want to have any conflict of interest by any means. And I loved my job, but you know, with anything, sometimes having a job can be expensive. An opportunity cost. So I'm actually excited to start sharing with you guys a lot of my trading strategies and just kind of what I've been doing. If you've seen most of my videos, you can kind of see that even my example positions that I made theoretically, they were always kind of pretty profitable. So I'm excited to actually start sharing that. I don't mind competition. I don't mind liquidity in the markets. I don't mind sharing a lot of my strategy. As you can see here, we're up 7% just on the day. So it's actually, it can be a lot more simple, I think, than people make it out to be. I am excited to kind of start doing more with you guys. And I would love to hear from you guys what you want to know. I am doing a cryptocurrency series, I'm pretty sure soon, in the next couple of days. But let me know kind of what you guys would like to know. I don't think I'll go over too much price action because I assume that a lot of you guys already know that. And again, because I did work at a financial literacy company that is based on like supply and demand and price action, I just felt a little weird. If I do anything, I might do it support and resistance instead of supply and demand, which is what I actually use, only so to avoid any conflicts of interest there or sharing anything that that isn't rightfully mine. I'm a big compliance guy, and I'm big on giving credit where credit's due. So other than that, assuming you kind of know price action or where you want to buy or sell anything, I think you might find my options strategies very helpful. I will probably also do a more hands-on crypto and like I said, forex, stocks. I started off with stocks about 10 years ago, and I got lucky, like you guys know, with one of the stocks I was trading, and so I wanted to keep doing it over and over and over again. So that's kind of how I ended up going to a trading education world, in which then I understood it very, very well. Sorry, my apartment's a mess. But I understood it very well, and so I kind of grew. I went from stocks to then futures, then forex, and then options. And I kind of wish I did options first because it's my favorite. So a lot of benefits to options. So people say you can't really day trade them, or you shouldn't. You most definitely can. There's a lot of ways to do it, and do it right. I would say do it right. But yeah, so I would love to know kind of what you guys want to know from me. Also, a lot of you guys that know me know that I'm a fluent Spanish and English speaker. So if you want to see that on a different channel, let me know. I don't want to bombard you guys with like new message notifications. But I guess doing a quick live, kind of food for thought. Again, I'm not telling you to buy, sell, or hold anything. But for example, here we're looking at like a lot of my Starbucks trades. So I got into this when, I don't know if you can even like really zoom in here, but I got into Starbucks kind of where, oh, well, you can see here, I got into Starbucks when price came down to like 47.37. And so I bought an option on it. No, my bet was that it was going to go up higher using price action. And so having the end goal in mind, which I think I did a video before, I looked at where the price was and I looked at where I knew price was going to go. And then I thought, you know, I like doing anything with the end goal in mind. So then I thought, okay, well, what is going to give me the best risk reward based on what I know with a high degree of accuracy, at least I should say, what I think is going to happen with a high degree of accuracy. Out of all the options contracts, buying calls, selling puts, vertical, whatever, iron condors, what is going to give me the best reward based on what I know is going to happen? So that's kind of how I do everything. I was very lucky to be, you know, mentored by a lot of the market makers and top traders in the world. And so if you've even seen my Facebook or my YouTube page, or excuse me, my Instagram, you can kind of see that my entries are pretty great. So if someone says you cannot really time the market, they're I don't want to say they're lying, but you can time the market with a very high degree of accuracy. And I'm not going to say 100% because, well, there wouldn't be a market if that was a thing, but you can time it with a very high degree of accuracy, and you can see where price is going to go, or at the very least you can see where you know you want to own a stock or the futures contract or whatever, and then from there kind of look at the options contract and see, well, if I know it's going to go from here to here, then what will give me the best return on that. So I'm a big Tony Robbins fan, so having the end goal in mind and kind of always knowing what it is you want to accomplish is very helpful, and that includes your trading plan. So for example, today, so my goal right now has always been to make about $1,000 a day with a roughly $20,000 account. But you know, you can trade for income, you can trade for wealth. So if you trade for income, I'm a strong believer that you should withdraw that money every 14 days, your gains, so that it feels like you're actually replacing your job. I feel like that has a lot to do with it. I feel like if you're just trading for income but you never really withdraw the money, it doesn't really feel like you're replacing income. Now, I'm also a big believer of compound interest. So for income, for example, I like to trade the Forex market. I like to trade a very specific option strategy for income. And I used to like futures a lot for income. I think the leverage is great, but the whole thing is between futures and Forex, or even crypto, for that matter, with those, with Forex specifically, you can really position size. So if you like crude oil futures, for example, you can kind of trade the USD CAD, and oftentimes you'll find that they're very correlated. But instead of risking $1,000 per dollar, you can just, you know, risk whatever you're comfortable based on what the Forex pair is doing. So then that was kind of what I thought was the advantage of doing Forex over futures usually. But then I think it's also easy for people to over leverage, especially in other countries. In the US, you get 50-to-1 leverage with Forex. Other countries, you get a lot more than that. But one thing that I really like about options is when I was trading futures, and I was doing pretty well, like I was profitable, but you're right or you're wrong, right? So you get stopped out, you know, if you take a 3-to-1, 4-to-1, but sorry, hey Jesse, so I missed the beginning, but did you talk about your strategy at all? Okay, so thanks for your question. I did talk about my strategy a little bit. I was kind of saying that it depends on what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So I have different strategies for different things. If I want to trade for income, I believe in withdrawing your money every 14 days so it feels like income. So for income strategies, I have a very specific option strategy for income, and I usually do Forex for income. But I do believe also in compound interest or compound gains, right? So that's really the way to wealth. That's how banks make a lot of their money. Warren Buffett. And I'm not the biggest Warren Buffett fan. I obviously respect him, but I like there's other people that I model myself after a little bit more than Warren Buffett. But for that, you know, I do believe in compound interest. So for compounding, so I have a set of option strategies that are due for wealth, right, or for compounding gains. But for income and options, I usually do, based on knowing price action, I usually do buying. Well, depending, if it's high volatility, I usually sell the option. So if it's in the morning, like Tesla came down to 250, 225, I think last week. So for that, I knew it was gonna jump at least $10 up. You know, I think at least, and I think it gapped up to the open. In fact, let's pull it up. Let me see. So I think if you look at Tesla here, TSLA. I just say, and I said earlier, you probably missed it. I'm blocking my, you can see my P&L, but I'm blocking my positions because I am live. So I don't want anybody to make any bias or holds or anything like that based on something they see on my screen, because that's a compliance problem. But as you can see here, what is this, a 4 hour? There was a point here when Tesla came down to 250 to 25. And I think I posted a video about it. But when it came to 250 to 25, that same day, it gapped up to where it, to entry, or if not the following day. So it moved up $10. So for me, selling the put, for that specific day, selling the put on Tesla, where I know price is going to come back to more or less, and capturing. So I sold the put and then closed it. I sold the put to open and then bought it to close. You know, per contract, if it moved or so $10 or so, then you probably make you know, about $1,000. Obviously, I didn't sell the put naked. I'm not a big believer in selling naked puts. I think you know, on this, actually no, I'm not gonna get into that. But basically, I sold because the volatility was high, it was falling. I sold a put and then I covered where I felt. Where I would have put my stop loss is where I bought the cover, more or less. And that worked out for Tesla specifically. But what I was saying is, to answer your question, depending on market conditions and depending if I'm trading for income or wealth, my strategy will vary. But if you're a subscriber, which I imagine you are, just go ahead and let me know if there's something more specific you want to know about trading in a specific, you know, if you want to trade for income or if you're trading options for forex or whatever. Let me know in the comments what it is you would like to see more of. Sorry, I'm holding my phone. And then I'll try to go over that. I was saying I will make more videos on actual strategy. I never did before for because I worked in a financial literacy company, which I love. I still do, but I didn't want to compete. Even though they never asked me not to, I just didn't want to do it. But I'm happy to share a lot of what I know with you guys. So thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like. I would really appreciate it. I'm trading. Okay, so Jesse says I'm trading at all right now. I'm assuming you're saying you're not trading at all, but I wanted to know specifically how you're finding entries. So, okay, so finding entries. I was saying I know price action pretty well from the previous academy that I went to, but I don't like scramming in the morning for a position. So a lot of times what I'll do, like on a Sunday, is I'll draw all of my lines for, you know, for my trades. So I will draw like where I want to get in Tesla or where I want to get in YouTube or whatever, or YouTube or Google or Amazon. I like the tech stocks. I know their heartbeat pretty well. And right now I know Starbucks heartbeat pretty well and gold. But what I'll do is essentially I'll draw my lines where I want to get in and then I'll put an alarm. So then whether I'm at work or I work from home, but whether I'm at the gym or trading or whatever, let's say that I'm looking at Tesla like I am right now, but then gold comes into my entry, let's say. I'll hear the alarm, and then based on kind of like, you know, if it's a huge candle down, like it came flying into my alarm and my entry, then I can usually assume that I'm probably going to sell, because usually the volatility can be high when something's free falling, or in the morning, usually in the first 30 minutes or the closing 30 minutes. Hi, Neo. Usually the volatility can be high on that. So usually I can kind of tell based on what's happening if I'm going to buy or sell. So high volatility usually means I'm going to sell. So then am I going to sell the call? Am I going to sell the put? Am I bullish? Am I bearish? If you don't know price action, leave in the comments below that you would like to know more about how to find zones or how to find entries. Just in good faith, like I always give credit where credit's due. I trade supply and demand. Primarily, I'm a huge follower of Sam Seiden and all the supply and demand people. Mind you, their information is proprietary, so I'll probably refer to support and resistance just to you know, first and foremost to give them the credit where it's due, but also to not infringe on their intellectual property. So I can make videos specifically about kind of finding how to trade or where to get in. Thank you, Neo, for subscribing. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to know about the market specifically, or if you want to trade for income or wealth or what have you. If your questions revolve around a lot around entries, then let me know so I can make a video on that. And if I probably wouldn't use supply and demand because it doesn't belong to me, but I'll use like support and resistance or something like that, where you can kind of get the idea of that. And are you currently trading you said you weren't trading, excuse me, Jesse. So if you're still watching, are you looking to trade more for like daily income or for monthly things, or for monthly income? Are you trying to replace a job, or are you just trying to pay like your kids' tuition for college, or what is it you're trying to accomplish? If you can type for me really quick, I can give you a theoretical scenario of what I might be looking at based on what you're trying to accomplish. If you're starting with a smaller account size, and I would say anything under $2,000. Well, if you're starting with anything under, I would say $500. If you're starting with anything under $500, I would probably start with Forex, because you can position incrementally into what it is you want to accomplish. So if you're doing price action or support resistance, something like that, you can risk 1 penny, $1, $10, $100, and you and I can take the exact same trade, look at the exact same chart with the same price action, and you're risking $1 to make $3, and I'm risking 1,000 to make 3,000, but everything else is equal. So with options, it depends if I want to hold it intraday, like with the Tesla trade that I just talked to you about. Like I intended to more or less dump that, like not even the day, like within 30 minutes. It's like it gapped down. I sold it pretty much at the market open. I sold the put, and then I bought it to close like 30 minutes later, and I made like 1,000 something dollars. What would you recommend to do for larger accounts? Okay, so for larger accounts, depending on whether you want to do income or wealth, sometimes just trading the stock itself might be the best option. When there's a lot of volatility, I like selling the puts, because I can usually get it for a better price than it's currently trading at. So for example, let's say that a lot of people want to rent their, okay, so this is a good example. So a lot of wealth people want to look into real estate, right? Oh, well, you can buy a house and sell the rent. Well, let's say that let's look at a stock to give you an example. So like, let's look at Apple, right? Because I feel like we all know Apple really well. So APL. So let's see here. Let me look at the 4 hour here. So Apple is currently trading at 220, right? So can everybody see that? 220.24. So let's say that you have a wealth account and you'd like to, let's say for theoretical purposes only, this is not a buy, sell, or hold recommendation. This is purely for examples. Always analyze your risk. And I have to keep saying that because I'm live, guys. I'm sorry. But let's say you're happy to own it at 215 or 214. Well, what you could do is you could, while you wait for price to get there, because it's currently trading at 220, you could consider selling the 214, 215 put and collecting premium like it's rent. So you're collecting like insurance money, right? So let's say that Mary Zoo has a $1 million account and she just wants to not lose a ton of money. So let's say she buys the insurance from you of Apple for 215, right? So then you sell her the 215 premium. So like, actually, let's look at this now. So do a full-on lesson right now. So let's look at the options monitor. So let's say here that are we looking at Apple? Yes, we are. So let's say that you want to, sorry, my hand's shaky because I'm holding my phone with 2 fingers. Let's say that you want to sell the you want to essentially rent the stock, right? So 215. So what is this? October. Oh, this has to be. Give me a second, guys. Apple. So let's go up to November, right? So you're saying between now and November, I am happy to buy Apple and own Apple at $2.50 excuse me, at at 215, right? Because it's at 220 right now. So instead of just having a limit order entry waiting for you, you can consider selling that 215 put, and to sell that put, you're gonna receive $5.15, and that's times 100 shares. So you're essentially getting paid while you wait. And to make sure that you don't go bankrupt, let's say like there's a flash crash and it goes to 100, you might consider buying a cover at let's say at 205. So I wouldn't actually take this trade. This is just for an example based on your question. So you're buying. So then you're here. So you're selling a vertical. So you're selling the sell vertical. Okay, so here we're selling the Apple 215 vertical, right? Because that's where you're happy to own it, and you're covering your losses at 212.50. So essentially, if it goes below, 212, you're buying the insurance for yourself. So you're only going to lose, the difference between 215 and 212, which is usually going to be the margin impact. But for your waiting, you're gonna receive 87 cents. So you're essentially gonna receive $90, right? So confirm. So here you're gonna see your max profit is how much you're selling the insurance for. Your maximum loss is 163. So you're essentially, it's a -2 to 1, right? So you're gonna risk more than you're gonna make, but you wanted to own it there anyway, right? So essentially, for you getting paid while you wait, you're going to receive $87. So if Apple doesn't come down or expire at 215, where you're selling the put, you're essentially going to keep those $87 for free. So if that's something that you would want to consider, you might do 10 contracts or something like that, and receive $800. And as long as Apple doesn't come beneath 215, you're essentially going to pocket that money like you're the insurance company selling insurance. If you think every time that you're going to sell insurance, every time you sell insurance, you receive premium, but every time you don't get into a car accident, the insurance company pretty much kept that for free. So that's pretty much how that works, guys. Hope that was helpful. Feel free to leave me any comments or anything like that about anything you want to go over later. I hope you found this informational. So anyway, subscribe if you like this video. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to see, and hopefully I will talk to you guys soon.